A quiet revolution, the legacy of President Roosevelt. At the turn of the 20th century, a single man would redefine the very nature of American leadership. He wasn't the first to occupy the White House, but his vision of the presidency would shift the balance of power in ways that no one could have anticipated. Theodore Roosevelt, the 26th president of the United States, brought with him a new kind of leadership, one that was bold, aggressive, and deeply personal. His presidency was not about maintaining the status quo. It was about changing the very fabric of the nation. Roosevelt took office at a time when the United States was facing profound challenges. The country was rapidly industrializing, and the gap between the rich and poor was growing wider. The political system was dominated by powerful elites and corporate interests, and the government seemed incapable of addressing the needs of ordinary Americans. It was a time of great inequality, and Roosevelt recognized that something had to change. His administration marked the beginning of a quiet revolution, one that would transform the relationship between the American people and their government. Roosevelt championed progressive reforms, pushing through legislation that regulated big business, expanded conservation efforts, and promoted the welfare of the working class. He believed that the government should not just be a passive observer, but an active participant in shaping the country's future. Yet, Roosevelt's legacy is not without controversy. His aggressive approach to foreign policy, especially his role in the construction of the Panama Canal and his intervention in Latin America, sparked debates about the role of the United States on the world stage. His vision of American exceptionalism pushed the country into a new era of global influence, but also set the stage for conflicts that would come to define the 20th century. Even today, Roosevelt's impact can be felt in nearly every corner of American life. His leadership during times of crisis, his unwavering commitment to progress, and his belief in the power of the presidency to enact change all shaped the way we view the office. Roosevelt didn't just lead the nation, he redefined what it meant to be an American president. Roosevelt's vision for America was built on the belief that the country was at a crossroads. The industrial age had brought immense wealth and power to a select few, but for many Americans, the American dream seemed increasingly out of reach. The working class struggled with long hours, low wages, and unsafe working conditions, while the nation's vast natural resources were being exploited at an alarming rate. Roosevelt saw a nation in need of reform, and he was determined to make it happen. One of his most significant contributions to American society was the regulation of big business. Roosevelt, often called a trust buster, used the full power of the presidency to break up monopolies and curb corporate greed. He believed that no company, no matter how large or powerful, should be allowed to manipulate the system for its own gain at the expense of the people. The Sherman Antitrust Act and the Clayton Antitrust Act were among his key legislative victories, ensuring that the government would not stand idly by as powerful corporations dominated the economy. But Roosevelt's progressive vision extended beyond economic reform. He was deeply committed to the preservation of America's natural beauty and resources. His efforts to expand the national park system and establish national monuments were unprecedented. Through his leadership, the federal government set aside millions of acres of land for conservation, ensuring that future generations would enjoy the country's natural wonders. Roosevelt was also a champion of labor rights. He recognized that workers needed protection from exploitation and that fair wages, safe working conditions, and the right to organize were essential for the nation's prosperity. His support of unions and his role in settling the 1902 coal strike, where he brokered a deal between workers and employers, demonstrated his belief in the power of compromise and cooperation. Yet, Roosevelt's vision wasn't always embraced. His aggressive reforms earned him enemies, both within his own party and among powerful business interests. Critics called him a dictator, accusing him of overreaching and using the presidency to impose his own will on the country. But Roosevelt, undeterred by the criticism, continued to push for the changes he believed were necessary. His legacy, while contentious, has endured, leaving a lasting impact on the nation's political and social landscape. What Roosevelt understood better than anyone was that change could not happen without disruption. His presidency was a revolution in its own right, a quiet revolution that fundamentally altered the relationship between the government and the people. He believed that the government had a moral duty to intervene in the economy and society to ensure fairness justice, and opportunity for all. As Roosevelt's presidency continued, his influence expanded beyond the borders of the United States. He firmly believed that America's role on the world stage was evolving, and his foreign policy reflected that conviction. His famous adage, "Speak softly and carry a big stick," became the guiding principle of his approach to diplomacy. Roosevelt sought to position the U.S. as a global power, one that would not shy away from asserting its interests, but would do so with calculated precision. One of the most defining moments of Roosevelt's foreign policy came with the construction of the Panama Canal. The canal, a monumental feat of engineering, connected the Atlantic and Pacific Oceans and transformed global trade. But the story behind the canal was more than just an engineering triumph. It was a testament of Roosevelt's willingness to take bold, decisive action, even when faced with tremendous opposition. In order to secure the land for canal, Roosevelt supported a revolution in Panama, leading to the creation of a new, independent nation that would allow the U.S. to control the canal zone. While the Panama Canal is often celebrated as one of Roosevelt's greatest achievements, it also raised questions about the morality of American interventionism. Roosevelt's actions in Panama set a precedent for future U.S. involvement in Latin America and the Caribbean, with the Monroe Doctrine being used to justify interventions across the region. Critics argued that Roosevelt's foreign policy was driven by imperialist ambitions, and that his vision of American dominance had long-lasting consequences for the countries of the Western Hemisphere. Despite the controversy, Roosevelt's international presence was undeniable. His negotiation of the Treaty of Portsmouth, which ended the Russo-Japanese War, earned him the Nobel Peace Prize in 1906. He became the first U.S. president to win the prestigious award, further solidifying his reputation as a leader on the global stage. Roosevelt's ability to navigate complex international relations while maintaining the strength and dignity of the United States was a testament to his skill as a statesman. Yet, it was Roosevelt's domestic policies that would have the longest-lasting impact. His belief in the need for a square deal, a fair and just system where all Americans could benefit, was reflected in his continued support for progressive reforms. He sought to combat the corruption of city machines, bring transparency to government dealings, and ensure that the benefits of America's prosperity reached all citizens. Roosevelt's work laid the foundation for future generations to build on, especially in the areas of labor rights, environmental conservation, and corporate regulation. The Roosevelt presidency was a time of transformation, a quiet revolution that fundamentally changed the fabric of the nation. But it was not without its challenges and criticisms. Roosevelt's vision for America was one of strength and intervention, both at home and abroad. And his legacy continues to provoke debate about the limits of presidential power and the role of the United States in global affairs. As Theodore Roosevelt's presidency came to an end, he left behind a nation that was fundamentally transformed. His progressive policies, his aggressive stance on foreign affairs, and his unwavering commitment to the ideals of democracy and justice reshaped the role of the presidency and the future of the United States. Yet, Roosevelt's work was far from finished. Even after stepping down, his legacy continued to evolve, as he became one of the most iconic figures in American history. Roosevelt's post-presidential years were marked by his relentless pursuit of reform. He returned to politics in 1912, running for president again as a third-party candidate under the banner of the Progressive Party, or the Bull Moose Party. Although he lost the election, his campaign forever changed the landscape of American politics, shifting the national conversation on issues like labor rights, women's suffrage, and corporate regulation. Roosevelt's ability to galvanize public opinion, even after his presidency, demonstrated the lasting influence he had on the American political system. But Roosevelt's impact wasn't just political. He was a man of action, a larger-than-life figure whose energy and enthusiasm were contagious. His legacy extended beyond his policies and political achievements. It lay in the way he redefined what it meant to be an American leader. Roosevelt's vision of the presidency was one where the president wasn't just a figurehead, but a proactive force for change. He believed that the government had a moral duty to address the issues facing its people, and he used his time in office to challenge the status quo. In the years following his death, Roosevelt's legacy only grew in stature. He became a symbol of American strength, resilience, and idealism, embodying the very best qualities of a nation. Yet, like all great leaders, Roosevelt's legacy was not without its contradictions. His aggressive foreign policies, particularly in Latin America, left a complicated mark on the world. His vision of American exceptionalism would inspire future generations to take bold actions, but also set the stage for the challenges of U.S. interventionism in the 20th century. What Roosevelt understood, perhaps more than anyone, was that leadership isn't just about making decisions. It's about creating a vision, rallying the people behind it, and having the courage to see it through. His presidency was a time of immense transformation, and his influence still echoes in the policies and values that guide the United States today. Roosevelt's story is one of ambition, conflict, and triumph. It's a reminder that change, real, lasting change, doesn't come easily, but through vision, determination, and a willingness to confront the hardest challenges. The quiet revolution Roosevelt led continues to shape the nation. So, what do you think? Has Roosevelt's vision for America shaped the country as he intended? Or are we still grappling with the same issues he faced over a century ago?